Well, I will. Oi, behave yourself, come on.
Fridays at 7:30 and Play Your Cards Right. Join Joker Bruce and the lovely Dolly Dealers.
It could be a big night if you play your cards right. And where are you from?
Bristol.
From Bristol? Oh, I love that city. One of my favourite cities, for two very good reasons. And you're wrong about both of them.
It's a winning hand on Central.
Night Star, British Radio.
A new season of Midweek Sports Special opens up tonight at 10:30 with top European football and Championship boxing. Jesper Olsen leads the Manchester United challenge against Hungarian opposition. And Brian Clough's Nottingham Forest takes on the Belgians from Bruges. Those are our feature matches. And in boxing, Clinton McKenzie defends his British title, and what a great fight that is against Terry Marsh. And once again, Errol Christie's punching power will be on show. That's immediately after news at 10.
Ta, Brian. We've got two new series starting tomorrow night. At 11 o'clock, there's The Return of the Protectors. And then at 11:30, Gary Newbon presents Fight Night. Those two tomorrow, back to tonight, and it's the news.
Mrs. Thatcher says ministers weren't told the Belgrano had changed course. She tells miners, we'll stick it out. Mr. Jenkin is pelted with eggs for abolishing the councils. In West Germany, there are territorials at the bottom of the garden. And Shea Blythe's new clipper class to Frisco. Good evening. The Prime Minister has said ministers were not told that the Argentine warship, the General Belgrano, had changed course on the day the order was given to attack her. The Belgrano was sunk on the 2nd of May 1982 with a loss of 368 lives. Mrs. Thatcher said today the precise position and course of the Belgrano were irrelevant because the ship was still a danger to the task force. In a radio interview today, Mrs. Thatcher said she and her ministers did the right thing to protect our boys, and she would do the same thing again. MPs who've been pressing the Prime Minister for a full statement on the Belgrano sinking said tonight she'd still ducked the main issue, whether Parliament had been misled, though Mrs. Thatcher insisted there'd been no desire or intention to mislead or misinform.
There are two basic questions the Prime Minister's critics want answered. Did she deliberately sink an enemy ship which they, though not the service chiefs, believe was on its way home and therefore posed no threat? And did Mrs. Thatcher, in an attempt to cover up the true facts, deliberately mislead Parliament? Central to the whole argument is this ship, HMS Conqueror, which returned from the Falklands flying the Jolly Roger in celebration of the sinking of the Belgrano. The consequences of that action, which cost 368 Argentinian lives, were enormous. In an annex to the letter to Mr. Fuchs, the Prime Minister has set out in greater detail than ever before the timetable of events and her justification of them, often dealing with information which until now has only come from leaks to opposition MPs. Mrs. Thatcher confirms that the British first sighted the Belgrano on May the 1st, 1982, the day before it was